And today we're reacting to the total collapse of August Alsina's career. I remember when this dude just dropped, like he had became, you know, who he was. This was years ago. I forgot when exactly. What I think I might have been in high school. I forgot. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe middle school. Whenever he was lit and light skins was winning him back then. I remember he was getting so much love just for him to disappear out of nowhere. I guess we're gonna figure out what happened, and then to see the horrible things that were done. I don't know the man's history. We're about to see right now though. Make sure you switch to stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Friday, man. Let's do it.
August Alsina, a man who has had a real controversial time in the music industry. Whether it was him messing around with Jada whenever her and Will was separated, or him telling the world that he had a real bad eye disease.
That's just also interesting, like that this happened, this relationship happened. This was like, oh yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that. Yeah, I'm Will Smith's wife. Yeah, I'm on that. Could Will Smith smack the wrong? He should have came through and switched this dude, bro.
Causing him to go blind. Throughout his career, he done had a lot of health scares and a lot of wild problems. I mean, when he decided to get with Jada, he got so attached to this married woman that he basically wanted to step away from the music space as a whole. Throughout the time period after the world found out him and Jada was messing around, he was like, you know, I really gave my all to this woman. And after the fact, he was so hurt, he was just like, I can't do it no more. I just want to get away from music.
What the fuck is wrong with that nigga? I didn't even know that was like what happened.
Like I say about people often, this man August Alsina, he is not a random. This is somebody that had a real good run in music, especially back during the early 2010s. He was around and a lot of people knew him. He had a lot of big songs out. He was a buzzing name in the music industry. And for a while, it was looking like he might be one of the next R&B superstars or in that realm. In 2014, 2015, we would see him start to show these health problems. Even though he was successful, he was still having these health problems come up. I mean, 2014, for example, we would see him really show how bad things was getting for him. One day he in New York performing, and he on stage, and this nigga passed out. So he passes out, he gets rushed to the hospital, and at first people didn't.
From a 3-day coma. Damn, coma's so crazy. Like, just imagine you blink and you wake up and days have passed. You know what I'm saying? You think you sleep whole time, you blinking. Bro, there's this dude out here. He was trying to be policeman. He was a security at a club. But he was trying to be policeman off the clock in Houston, where he saw like 3 dudes breaking into a car and ran down. It was a big, swole, buff dude. Ran down on him, talking like, you know, trying to stop the situation. Good Samaritan police officer shit. Don't know what movie. I don't know. That's why you mind your business. But he ran down and they shot that nigga, bro. They shot that nigga. Like, he was in a coma for a minute. You feel me? In a coma for a while. I think he ran up the nigga. I don't know what happened. Apparently, he just ran up. Apparently, the nigga turned around and all of that. Right? The nigga, you know, he got a family, got a daughter. Nigga ain't wake up for months. I forget how long, but he was in a coma for a long time. Mind you, swole, big, buff, burly nigga. When he woke up, he was skinny from all the, you know, all this shit, his body trying to make it back. He was skinny as shit. He had to learn to walk and all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy. That shit's wild. Fucking around that coma. But I'd say the coma shit's crazy.
Know how bad things were. People thought maybe the man was just
mind your business,
or he was doing a little too much on stage. But whole time in reality, after he passed out on stage, it wasn't like, oh, he got back up. That man fell into a 3-day coma. TMZ wrote this. August Alsina's condition was much more serious than his camp initially led on. The singer was in a coma for 3 days after fainting on stage in New York, but he's awake. In the pic that they posted of him, his head is heavily bandaged and he had an oxygen mask strapped to his face. Alsina's rep said he was suffering from seizures and was in the ICU. And this rep also confirmed that he was in a medically induced coma since Tuesday and is now on a breathing machine.
Were you there when he collapsed and went through that whole thing?
Crazy, because that was actually our last show, and I had an interview to do. I had, well, a couple of interviews to do on a bus. I literally went upstairs to his dressing room. I gave him a hug. I told him to have a great show, that I was going to do an interview. And that was our last show. Like, literally, I'm on the bus doing an interview, and everybody's just standing at the door. And I'm like, well, what happened? So I finished the interview. That happened. I'm like, damn, like, I literally just walked out. It was hot on the stage. Like, I even felt a little weak when I was performing, but, you know, imagine every single night performing for 78 minutes, you know, a night for 30 nights straight, and being dehydrated and probably not eating. Like, was a lot. It's a lot that go on tour, but between having to do promo and, you know, performing, and a scary moment. And, you know, it was definitely a wake-up call to, you know, have to just take care of yourself more. And because I'm not a big water drinker, that alone, that happening to him, you know, definitely was a wake-up call for me to start, you know, drinking more water, making sure I'm eating on time, like workout person. But I personally think it's because I dance. Like, I was dancing before anything else, so I think that was the automatic, like, workout right there. I was like 6 years old with a six-pack.
But this happens, and he didn't let it ruin his career. He kept dropping. He kept feeding the streets. But that don't mean he wasn't in no controversy. At one point, he'd be doing another show, but would do something real out of pocket. A woman would come on stage, right, and, you know, sometimes these rap niggas or these performers be getting a little freaky on stage. Well, he was doing that, and it didn't really go right. He was touching a little too much. And this went viral all over the internet. And people on the internet was feeling like he was tripping. He was on weird timing. And at one point, he would come out responding to all this hate because he getting backlash. They're like, nigga, that woman was on stage and you being weird. This is what he would say. Shout out to that beautiful young lady, and you ignorant people in these weak-ass blogs, try again. Christmas is near. I'll buy y'all all the toys to play with. So public perception around him was real interesting at the time.
What did he do that was so freaky deaky?
Because this wasn't the first time we seen him in controversy like this. A little bit before this would go down, he had another show. And he get to throwing hands. But this wasn't even like a regular show he was fighting at. This nigga had an anti-violence show. Then went backstage.
Bro, where is August Alsina from? I'm just curious. Like, where is this nigga from? New Orleans. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is right. That's right. Kissing on my tattoos. I love this shit. Benediction, numb, make it home, ghetto, song cried, no love. I don't remember these songs. Like, I've never been good with names on songs, but as soon as I hear them, I could probably fucking rap the whole shit, sing the whole shit. But yeah, I don't remember like the names.
Age and beat up somebody. According to TMZ, what sparked the brawl was August being dissatisfied about performing before the Migos because he thought he was bigger. That sparked an earlier dressing room incident with Alsina's camp, which resulted in the crew being detained by security guards. Later on in the evening, August Alsina got on stage with his entourage and then ended up jumping a promoter who had nobody to back him up. TMZ, you're right, it's unfortunate that this fight went down, especially since the purpose of the show was to promote anti-violence. And before I keep talking about this, make sure you go tap in with me on Instagram at GetLikePrince. I'm really trying to grow my brand over there. And if you could hit that follow button, it would be appreciated. So he was in a good bit of controversy, but that wasn't his whole thing. That wasn't even his brand. He would come out and would never really want to be shown in a negative light at all. His whole thing was, look, I don't want to be no controversy. I don't want to be negative. I don't want people label me as this negative individual. Even though he didn't want to be shown in the negative light, he still kind of brought that negative side out. And a prime example of this was back in 2015. His label would accidentally leak his album, and instead of him, you know, taking it to the label heads, rightfully so, the nigga got on Twitter. He called out his label. He was mad. They leaked this album. Shit, I would have been mad too. So He gets mad. He gets on Twitter. He like, F the label, F all of them. And I don't know if the label said something to him or not, but after having his Twitter rant, he dissing the label. He talking all kind of crazy shit. He would get online and apologize.
How did your label accidentally leak your album? That's some shit that would piss me off too.
He said, I hate to come off negative any way possible, and I may not handle every situation the way you may see it. There's so much passion, blood, sweat, and tears that I pour into everything I do. In no way do I take the position God has put in my hand for granted. With that being said, my FU tweet came from a place of frustration, of course, but also a place of love. Because all that I do, all the love that I have for my fans, the people that support me, and simply the love of the art, I can't express to you how much hard work was poured into this album, its presentation and rollout. So for it to be leaked because of a careless mistake hurts me to the core. Then he would say, I have a great deal of respect for my Def Jam family, but I hate the disappointment my album being leaked caused my fans. But then as time would go on, not only would he see him be mad at the label, had these label problems, but his health problems would keep getting worse, unfortunately. 2 years after coming out saying he was in a coma, he would come out saying that he had liver problems. He had a liver disease or autoimmune disease that was fighting against itself. He would say this on Instagram: "Please excuse my defense mechanism in this clip. I'm sicker than ever and having a hard time accepting what I feel and what the doctors are saying is most true. After sitting down and talking with my family, they explained to me that this sickness and illness runs in my family. My father and grandfather both died of severe illness, but they were fighters, and that's what mattered." So at the same time, August had all of this going on. What about the actual music? Because there was a point in time where this nigga was feeding the streets. He
was on top, bruh. I'm talking about from the features. Like, it started to come back to me, certain songs. But like from the features to all of that nigga was going crazy.
The fan base, like I told y'all throughout this video, he was giving people the music that they wanted. But problems will really come up. Problems we seen earlier in the vid. Problems with the label. If we really go back in time and look through his catalog, look through his release.
Yeah, I remember this shit right here. I remember this album specifically because of the cover art.
Pattern, right? He was dropping an album, dropping another album, feeding the fans, giving niggas what they wanted. But then he didn't drop for years. And you know he had a fan base, so now fans asking, where the album at? Where the album at? Are you gonna drop? Are you gonna give us something to listen to? And even though earlier, yeah, he was apologizing about hating on this label, he would do the same thing. Even after saying, I don't want to come off as bad, I don't want to argue about my label, he would do that. He would get on Twitter again, basically coming at the label. He said on Twitter, "I would love to put my album out, but Def Jam is holding it hostage because the system is not up and running until next year. So basically, they don't exist. The label is trash. I'll release free music soon, but that's been the hold up. Tell them to free me and free the album." Then his life just wasn't getting better. Even throughout all of these labor problems and all of these health problems, at the end of 2018, the man's sister would pass away from cancer.
See this person every day. I mean, practically living together. And everything.
What year was this? Because at this point, I hadn't seen this nigga in. I haven't seen him look like this. Like, I've only known him with the little fro that we all had back in 20 whatever, right? But this new fit right here, like I have no recollection of this.
I could imagine came to me unexpectedly in the form of a human. I willingly gave myself to that situation in my full self. One day after my sister died, I decided to step away from the relationship because of all of its complexities. But deeper than it being complex, it was really about the relationship not making space for
what the fuck is he talking about right now?
Honest and authentic self. Not making space for my expression. You decided to step away from it after seeing my sister just so suddenly die, because life is so short, man. It really is. And really running out of time. And no one has time to be anything other than who you truly are. Comes with it, no matter what a consequence may be, whatever people may think of me, whatever it may be, I have to honor myself. There is not enough time here on this earth for us to fake anything.
Okay.
But past that, probably one of the biggest moments outside of music, outside of his own career, was him and Jada Smith messing around. See, now this was such a wild time on the internet when all of this info was coming out.
Right.
Basically, Jada Smith and August had been messing around for a while she was still married to Will Smith.
Boy, I thought this was a picture with all of them. I was about to say this some foul ass shit. This is interesting. How old was this nigga during this time? Messing around with this man's wife. I know he felt like that nigga too, just because he's fucking Will Smith's wife.
But her point was, you know, we were separated. We weren't together. We went our separate ways, but we just so happened to be married on paper. The People wrote this.
Okay.
In July 2020, Pinky Smith and her husband sat down to discuss her relationship with Alsina, which she revealed took place years ago, while she and Smith were separated. It wasn't until October 2023 that she would share that her and Smith had been living separate lives since like 2016. Article would write, 4.5 years ago, I started a friendship with August, and we had...
You married, right? I guess, you married for a long time, but look, you married, right, to your woman. Y'all take us some time away. Why are we not just divorcing? She said while she and Smith were separate, it was October 2023 that Pink and Smith would share that she and Smith have been living separate lives since 2016. Since 2016, they've been living separate lives up until 2023. 4.5 years ago? Why the fuck are we married on paper? Just because we don't want to cause no commotion on the media or some shit? What does this do for us to be married anymore? Because why? I don't want to say that because then shit like this pops up. Now I'm claiming that we married. Oh yeah, we're still married. And then now fucking things like this happen. I hope Will was doing his thing. God damn it! Somebody can come out here and vouch for Will that he was fucking some shit. His legacy over anyway. This is why even this video's even coming up. It probably popped up because I've been watching those Will Smith videos.
Really became good friends. And then it all started with him just needing some help, me wanting to help his health, his mental state. Jada Smith denied that her husband had given Alsina permission to carry on a relationship. The only person that can give permission in that circumstance is myself. She clarified, adding that she thought the singer was trying to make it clear he's not a home wrecker because he's not. And so after all of this came out, it's going all over the internet, and August would speak on it. He was basically like, on some dumb shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I said at the start, like I said the intro, he starts messing with this married woman, and that nigga didn't move accordingly. If we really gonna look at it, if you putting yourself in a situation like that, nigga, you gotta move accordingly. But he didn't. He got a little too deep in with another man's wife. And he was basically like, it broke him. He was too attached. He really was giving his all to this woman that didn't seem to be giving her all back to him.
She just be doing her damn, bro. Jada Pinkett must got the wildest, wettest. I'm gonna let y'all finish the rest. That shit must be, bro, she must be doing something to the food, some type of spell. Cause damn, it seems like anybody that come in contact with this woman can't seem to let Shorty go, ain't it? She talking a good game.
This is what he told Angela Yee. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much to the point where that if I die right now, I can be okay knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody. So much that being intertwined in that way, walking away from it, butchered me. I'm shaking right now because it almost killed me.
I'm shaking right now. This brother's fucked. This brother's starving.
Not almost, it did. It pushed me into another person, my newer self. It broke me down. Then he would say, I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times. He gave
me his blessing.
And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life.
You can have my wife, August. We're still married, but it seems like you're doing her good. You have my blessing, son.
And then after he would kind of step back from music, he stepped away from the industry. And really nothing for that man would be the same after this whole situation went down because it was that big, it was that impactful to his career, to Jada career, to Will career. This is a stain that will literally never be forgotten. Like I said.
You know what DJ Ghost said? Shout out DJ Ghost, man. Somebody I look up to in this space. You know what I'm saying? At 30-something years old, when I'm 30-something, whatever age he is, I pray that I'm doing more than him for sure. I know I'll be doing more, but just to be at his position, for sure, I'll be happy, grateful. You know what I'm saying? He going crazy, one of the goats in this shit. But guess what he said? He said, You'll lose money chasing a woman, but you'll never lose a woman chasing money. That's what he said. And I feel like that's real. I feel like that's real. Real deal. And this nigga was chasing this woman. Look what happened to his career. Look at the depth of this nigga career.
I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, but I feel.
But imagine he went and he kept being him, getting to it, you know, making himself shit. Maybe Jada still, cause she's married at the end of the day. Circumstances are different. But shit, which one would you rather lose, especially if it's not your woman? If it's your woman, shit, it might be a little bit different conversation. But if it's not your woman, would you rather lose the girl that that had good head one day, or would you rather lose $1 million?
Bad for him because he a human, he hurting, but at the same time, that was a grown man that put himself in a position to fall that deeply in love with a married woman. Right. But during this time period, Jada and Will weren't the only problems this nigga had going on, because right at this time, after everybody really getting over the whole Jada Will Smith shit, he would get beat up by Tory Lanez out of all people. Alsina was out.
Golly.
This wasn't even just some internet drama. This wasn't just something that stayed on the internet. Him and Tory got into it. Tory peoples allegedly put the beats on August Alsina. August would get on IG one night after reports came out. News came out that they was at this show. August Alsina got knocked out. And so like, what you got going on? And he seen knocked out. He responds. He would post a picture of his face covered in blood with a caption basically explaining his whole side of the story. This is what the caption said. As I'm exiting the building after the show last night, a 4'11" sized leprechaun ran down on me with 8 niggas who I greeted individually upon their walk up as they tried to press me. Whole time I'm one deep, no security. Tory continues to act with a broken ego why I didn't dap him up when I walked by him. I go on to tell him I was a fan of him and didn't understand him speaking on my business publicly in the past because I ain't even know him or met him until last night. So when he spoke, it caught me off guard because of his past actions. I assumed he didn't like me. That's all. Not to mention, with my history of health and condition and recently overcoming being paralyzed, my doctor directed me not to compromise my health while out on the road and shake as less hands as possible due to Rona and monkeypox and all this other shit going on. So now it's problems between these two niggas and the whole internet is...
Damn! Why the fuck you ain't dap me up, nigga? Damn! Oh, Nat!
Asking questions, and Tory would respond. He would say this: that was an accident. I didn't confirm anything. I don't know what everybody talking about, but I've been in the studio. I'm not in anything negative. I'm working on myself and being a better person. And what's crazy is this ain't just end as some IG drama or just a man getting beat up and that was the end of it. Fast forward some time, Tory Lanez just beat this nigga up and it's viral everywhere. And this coming off the Tory Lanez Megan case. So he already got his little issues with the law. So for him to beat this man up, y'all know 12 was paying attention. That's exactly what happened. He fights August Alsina. Fast forward some time, he had a court hearing come up, and in this court hearing, after the judge seen everything that went down with him in August, the judge would throw Tory on house arrest. XSL wrote this: on Wednesday, Tory Lanez had a court hearing in LA in connection to his bond for the Megan Thee Stallion shooting case. During the hearing, a judge ordered the Canadian to be put on house arrest. So basically, Tory got thrown on house arrest for beating up August Alsina. But around this time, not only would he have his problems with Tory, he would also kind of come out. He would start doing little things hinting toward the fact that he might like men, and as the years
I remember this.
It's always been a conversation with him. I mean, a clip from last year, he was on Nick Cannon podcast, kind of being open about it. He would say, to be honest with you, bro, it's not even me that's opening my heart. It's that power that's higher than myself. I always say that the greatest gift that God could ever give was exposure, to expose me to so many different kinds of people, places, and things. So it's like, when people want you to define yourself as whether you're gay, straight, or bisexual, or whatever it is you talking about, love is much more complex to that and has.
Yeah, that nigga, yeah. He's grabbed a hold of a couple of Johnsons. Because anybody that, if that wasn't the case, he'd be like, fuck no, nigga. Hell no, I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? And let people have to decide. But no, he's putting up cryptic messages and let niggas have to decipher riddles and shit. Nah, bro. Yeah, it's okay, bro. Yeah, I grabbed some Johnsons. I also like a couple of vaginas, too. I like both of them. Or I like one more than the other. You know what I'm saying?
Much more depth. So for me, I'm that kind of person because love is a language. I'm fluent in love when it speaks to me.
I'm fluent in love when it speaks to me.
Hey, whether they're gay as hell or not, Jada, you failed. You cheated on Will for no reason. I thought you said you went to heal this man. This thing, like, after all that healing, he's still looking for somebody else. This is part of the if you gonna be accepting of, like, you know what I mean, everybody, like, you can't be like, you gotta accept the lifestyle, bro. Like, bro, that's what they do. Homie probably got August arching his back, bent up like a pretzel with that little blonde hair just like sticking out, you know what I mean? You know, he got like sickle cell or something like that. You know what I mean? But like, bro, he's saying let that nigga live. All right, hold on. All right, but all I'm just trying to say, I support people like August Alsina. You feel me? Like, I've realized, I checked the lyrics. I ain't gonna lie, I did my research on it. When he said, I love this shit, what do you think he was talking about?
Yo, what do you think he was talking about?
Like, I ain't appreciate that he snitched on Tory, but at least he ain't say it was a hate crime. We gotta be honest. Like, we gotta be honest. You know what I mean? At least he ain't say it was a hate crime. You know what I mean? But salute to August. Salute to August.
August Alsina life over these past decade, over these past few years has really been crazy. Going through all these health problems, you know, him almost going blind, him being paralyzed. It was just a lot of bad situations he was in. Then the whole Jada Smith, then the whole Tory thing, everything just on top of each other was just a lot. And the real crazy story, what are y'all thoughts on August Alsina and everything that he done been in?
Just think this another unfortunate successful person's downfall with a lot of the health thing is that's tough, man. You know, sounds like a lot of things wasn't his fault, but you know, at the end of the day, the niggas seem lost in certain areas. That being said, yo, let me try. No, I think like the video. So comment, mention the channel. I appreciate your great. We going.